Have you ever wondered why some parts of your pasture are luscious green and beautiful, and the other parts are dead brown, dying, and sad? Chances are your horse is overgrazing certain areas and completely ignoring others. They're making your beautiful pasture look like Swiss cheese. Today, I'm going to show you how to rotate your pastures like a pro. So your grass grows back faster, your horses stay healthier, and your fields stay green all year long. Well, except for winter, okay? I can't do magic. I can help with mistakes, but I can't do magic. So why does pasture rotation matter in the first place? Pasture rotation is very important because overgrazing weakens your existing grass, it increases the amount of weeds in your pasture, and it spreads parasites. Yum. By rotating pastures, you help keep your grass strong, healthy. It gives the soil some time to recover. And remember, grass needs nutrients. And if the soil's depleted of nutrients, your grass is going to be kind of crap. And switching your pastures, rotating them, it reduces mud and disease because you're giving the pasture time to breathe, time to recoup. Everybody needs a reset, even your pasture. Actually, maybe even especially your pasture. Yeah, horses are pretty rough. Think of your pasture like a buffet. You don't want to eat the same thing over and over again. I forget who said it, but variety is the spice of life. Yes. If your horse is eating from the same exact pasture with the same exact type of plant growth, that's going to get old pretty fast. And your horse is going to be sad and your pasture is going to be sad. And then you're going to be sad. So pasture rotation, trust me, it matters. So hopefully I've convinced you to rotate your pasture. How do you plan to do that? This is how. Divide your pasture into 2 to 4 smaller paddocks. The number of small paddocks you can fit into your pasture really depends on how big your pasture is and how much material do you have at your disposal to separate said pasture. Once you've separated your pastures, you're going to want to keep your horse in one spot for a period of 3 to 7 days and then move them to a fresh paddock. Ideally, you should rest your paddocks for 3 to 6 weeks, depending on grass growth and season. Now do the math, if you only have 2 paddocks, that's not going to work out. So you might need to divide your existing pasture into many smaller ones. That way, one area is not getting overgrazed and then your other ones can slowly start to regrow. Also consider your climate. That's going to influence what kind of grass you have. Cool season grasses are grasses like Timothy, orchard grass, Kentucky bluegrass. These kind of grasses, as the name implies, grow best in the cooler temperatures, so think spring and fall. This means they are slow to go dormant in winter and they're slow to grow in really hot summer. They have really deep roots, which is great for drought tolerance, but they tend to grow really quickly in the spring and fall. So you actually will have more frequent rotations if you live in a climate with cool season grass. Now, compare that to warm season grass. These are grasses like Bermuda, crabgrass, and Bermuda hybrids. This type of grass, again, as the name implies, grows best in the hot weather. So think late spring through summer, and they often go dormant in cool temperatures. And they'll turn brown in the wintertime. So they do grow very fast in the heat. So summers are very productive, but they usually need more water and fertilizer to stay lush. Some rotation notes for warm season grass. Summer grazing is excellent because it's grown fastest during the summertime. You should avoid grazing your horse in the wintertime because the grass is dormant and it won't be able to recover if it's grazed down. And paddock resting periods tend to be shorter. And here's a pro tip from me, a pro. But really, I do have a tip. If a paddock looks half mowed, don't be tempted to leave your horse there. Instead, move them early. It's best if you can move horses when the grass isn't complete crap and still has some life to it. Okay, so how do you manage the grass and the soil? This might sound kind of crazy, and a lot of people don't know this, but you actually are supposed to test your soil every 2 to 3 years. This tells you when you need to add things like lime or fertilizer. Because again, it is not a bottomless buffet. We have to replenish our supply at some point. Another thing you should be doing to manage your grass and soil is to mow or drag the fields to control weeds and spread manure evenly. And don't think that you need fancy wooden fencing to separate your fences. You can just use temporary electrical fencing to divide your pasture. Permanent subdivisions are not necessary. Manage your grass and soil also by watching for overgrazing. Horses should ideally leave 3 to 4 inches of grass to avoid killing the roots. And before anybody screams at me, yes, I know it's not possible or practical in every situation, probably not even in half of situations, but ideally, okay? In an ideal world, this is how pasture rotation works. Let's go over some extra tips and mistakes that people make whilst trying to get the hang of pasture rotations, because it's not easy. It's literally a science. There are books about pasture rotation. One of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to pasture management is leaving a horse in one pasture all season. Not only does this lead to soil compaction, this leads to mud. Because if the ground can never settle and regrow grass, it just takes one rainy day to ruin the whole pasture. And when the soil gets super compacted in the dry season, it's really hard on your horse's hooves. Mistake number 2 is kind of the opposite, rotating your pasture too quickly. Now, I haven't actually heard of anybody who does this, but allegedly there's people out there who rotate too quickly. Kudos to you because you're trying. You're dedicated. You're on it. You're just a little too on it. The problem with rotating your pastures too frequently is that your horse is going to end up eating immature grass. They're going to overeat this immature grass, which has a higher sugar content. And that's a huge colic risk and, of course, a laminitis risk. Mistake number 3, ignoring shade and water locations. So horses are lazy deep down, even the ones that really enjoy being ridden and getting out and all that stuff. If they can just eat where they're standing and near resources, like under the tree, near the water tank, that's where they're gonna mow down the grass. They're gonna overgraze. It's gonna be dry, compact, hard dirt under your tree and around the water bucket. And then when it rains, those areas are gonna be muddy. So if you can manage, and I know this is a huge, big hassle, but moving where your water is, and I know that's not possible. A lot of places have solid, hooked up automatic waters, and that's where your water is, baby. I get it. But sometimes you can put a little run-in shelter in the pasture so that they're not under the tree all the time for shade. But I get it, that's a lot. What's easier to do is paying special attention to those frequently walked on areas. So you're going to have to fertilize those areas more frequently, water them more frequently, pay special attention to those areas. It's still time consuming, but it's easier to do than, having another shelter built or moving your giant water bucket. Rotating your pasture isn't just about the grass. It's really all about a happier, healthier horse. Start small, plan ahead, and watch your fields thrive or just barely survive. We're new to this, right? Even pros struggle with pasture rotation, so don't feel bad. And honestly, a lot of people don't even do it at all, so don't stress yourself out. If you want more horse videos, hit that subscribe button and follow along. I'm Adri with her horse. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.